Welcome back to yet another episode of 5 Things You Might Not Know About WWE 2K16. This, as always, is the one I want. So yeah, this one is episode number 9. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, then check out the series playlist, link down below. And yeah, with that said, get ready for another dose of 5 more things that you might not know about 2K16. So here we go. Kicking this one off, we have got some lesser known tag team controls. Now we've actually got 2 things here. The first is the ability to call your partner into the ring for either an attack or a distraction. Now this is done by holding R1 on the PS4 or equivalent on the Xbox One, then pressing either up or down on the D-pad. By doing this, your tag team partner will either get in the ring or attempt to get into the ring, either way distracting the referee, which can definitely be a useful thing to know, especially let's say if you want to use the steel chair on your opponent without causing a DQ finish. The other tag team control, which is a little more known but still something that some of you guys might not be aware of, is the tag partner switch. Now this one is done with the old school select button, which is the left side of the touchpad on the PS4 or the equivalent on the Xbox One. This allows you to switch tag team partners on the fly. Again, a really handy thing to note for tag team matches, especially handy for breaking up pins or to stop an attempted pin breakup from the opposing team. Next up on today's episode, something that you might not know about custom arenas. Now, if you're not aware, via one of the recent patches for 2K16, 2K brought in a feature that allows you to choose whether you see Minitrons or stage arena logos on select custom arenas. So let's take this custom arena for example. If you want to see the nicely made custom arena logos, you select option A, or if you'd rather see the standard Minitrons, you would select option B. Now this was actually a pretty cool feature that 2K brought into this year's game, and definitely another handy thing to know. So for those of you who at times wanted to see the arena logos instead of the Minitrons or vice versa, now you know how to. And this can also be changed whenever you like, including for downloaded arenas in the edit arena section. Moving on, the third thing of today's episode is Santino's Cobra Sleeve. Now, I'm sure most of you watching will be aware that Santino puts the Cobra Sleeve on during his finish-up, but what you might not know is that if his finish animation gets interrupted, Santino will continue the match with the Cobra Sleeve still visible, as opposed to taking it back off if the finisher had connected. So nothing too major there, but still a nice touch for Santino in the game that he potentially might not have known. Our fourth thing this week, we have got a lesser known tired finisher. Now I think it's fair to say that everyone, myself included, loves a good tired finisher, with one of the most obvious and favourite animations being HBK's Corner Sweet Chin Music. Now because that version of the move is so awesome, I think it's fair to say that most people tend to use that version instead of the regular standard version. But what you might not know is that as a new addition for 2K16, the awesome tied animation for the Corner Sweet Chin Music is now also found in the regular standard version. Now you obviously don't get the corner theatrics, but you do get the rest of the tied animation, which whilst not quite as good as the corner version, still looks pretty good and is a cool thing to know. So yeah, the standing Sweet Chin Music in 2K16 also has a fatigue variation. And the final thing of today's episode, we have got Irish Whip effectiveness when used on the outside of the ring. Now I get this one doesn't sound too exciting, but when used in such ways, a simple Irish Whip can actually be a pretty cool and effective thing to utilise. So as well as the standard Irish Whip into the barricade, the ring post, or even the steel steps, there is also another bunch of ways to use this for damage that you may not have considered trying out. You could strong Irish Whip your opponent into the ring apron, so yeah, even the ring apron can be used for damage. You can whip your opponent into the corner point of the announcer's table, which as you can see looks pretty brutal. You can also strong Irish Whip your opponent into the barricade at different angles, which has a few different nice results. And via a glitch, believe it or not, you can also Irish Whip your opponent into the crowd in the position as seen in the video. So for such a simple move, various pretty cool things can be done, and some of which hopefully you might not have known that you should definitely consider giving a go. And with that said, that brings an end to another episode of 5 Things You Might Not Know, bringing my series total to 45. So, as always, if you have enjoyed today's video, a like rating would be awesome to see. And also don't forget to drop me a comment down below, as well as taking part in the video poll, and let me know how many of today's 5 things were new to you, and what things in particular you didn't know for watching today's episode. Stay tuned to the channel for plenty more 2K16 content like this coming very, very soon. And until next time, this has been 101, and I will see you all on the next one.